In today's episodes, the top stories include the downfall of the Boston Red Sox, the Atlanta Braves, Terry Francona, and the Tampa Rays' epic comeback. You're watching The Pitch. Hey guys, welcome to our third season of The Pitch. As always, I'm your host John Fox, alongside here with Mitch, the prodigy Sabbatelli, and Mike Peps. Now, we've been away for a while, guys, right? Sorry about that, but you know, it feels really good to be back, and we have a lot of changes so far. I mean, we're instead of doing it weekly every Friday, we're gonna do it every other week.
Give a little time, you know, maybe we can prepare a little bit better.
As well as cutting down to 2 parts. We're going to try to do 2 10-minute parts. This part's obviously going to be a little bit longer because of the content, material. Alright, so we'll start off with our first topic of the week. Now, the Boston Red Sox are not in the playoffs for the second straight season. Thoughts on their epic collapse?
The greatest team in the history of the game. You know, everybody's talking about how many wins they were going to win, 100, 105, 110. Yep. Nope, they didn't even make the playoffs. That was the worst collapse I have ever seen in professional sports. People talk about the Flyers beating the Bruins after going up 3. The Red Sox beating up the Yankees after going down 3. You can look at the Mets when a couple years ago when they didn't make the playoffs after they had a huge lead. You know, I think that was the worst collapse, and I think that was the worst 5 minutes between the Dan Johnson home run, the Evan Longoria home run, and when the Red Sox lost. That was the worst couple of minutes in Red Sox history. I know I didn't see Buckner, I didn't see Bucky Dent, I didn't see the Sill, Babe Ruth, but in my lifetime that was worse than Aaron Boone. That was the worst thing.
It's just like the luck completely just going.
It was horrible.
Absolutely just shifting one way completely. I mean, like, awful for the freaking Red Sox. Just like we're talking about. Like, back in July, I remember me and my dad were talking like, oh, my dad's like, I think they're going to get over 100 wins, get like 105.
Yeah, they were on pace. They were on pace.
We were at 80-something wins for a whole month.
Then you go 7-20 in September, just a little over 200 average, like, winning percentage.
Yeah.
Like, awful. You go from, like, 800 earlier in the months plus down to 200-something. It's, like, awful collapse. Just that, but, I mean, it's definitely one of the worst, like you're saying, but still the Yankees in 04, it's the worst.
Let me just break it down for you. I'm a huge Red Sox fan, but I'm also a huge baseball fan, and I can say that I have witnessed the greatest possible 2 hours of baseball history. That was amazing. Look how it started. The Red Sox had that early lead. It was 3-2, and I was watching NESN for the Red Sox, and I was watching ESPN for the Yankees-Rays. Yankees went up 7-0. I was shocked when Girardi threw in Teixeira. Teixeira had a huge game, and I came home from work. I saw the score. I thought we were all wrap this up, and all of a sudden the rain delay hits. Then it's when it's rain delay, you switch to the Rays-Yankees game.
Rains and pours.
You know, they walked one guy on the bases loaded, and then they hit a guy. That was an instant 2 runs. Then comes Evan Longoria, and he hits a monster 3-run shot and puts them within. I think it was within 1, yeah. And then they come back, and you know it's all set. The Red Sox back from delay, and here comes Corey Wade, and Girardi shouldn't get hated for that. You know they already won the playoffs. Yeah. They didn't need Mo Rivera. Yeah. He throws out Corey Wade. He gets the first 2 outs easy. Then Dan Johnson, who Peps, how many hits has he had this year?
Barely. He's batting 1-something.
He's batting 119, and he hasn't had a hit since April 27th. A major league hit since April 27th.
What are the odds, right?
All of a sudden, Dan Johnson comes in, pinch hitter, 2 outs, 2 strikes, right down the line, home run, and I'm pissed right then. And right after that, sorry, Peps, one more thing.
It's cool.
Right after that, the Red Sox, you know, it was like Baltimore made the playoffs. Buck Showalter hates our ass, and he absolutely came in there. Robert and Daniel comes in. It was like they won the
That's why you have to making fun of him earlier on. A while ago, and the season started calling him a bitch and everything. That's what I get, right? And the real problem was not even the Yankees. Yankees do whatever the hell they want. I mean, they could have lost like 13 at that game. I know they just. I mean, it kind of sucks. If
it was just
they did it to just mess with us, kind of feels like. But we're really going to focus on the Red Sox. It's like you have a 3-2 lead. Like Pedroia just hit a sick home run right at the top, like
Orsello said, he's wheeling his way to right at his eye level. That was sick.
But 3 runs against this Oriole team is ridiculous. It just shows that the offense just been lacking completely. You got to rely on your leadoff hitter to hit the most home runs on the team. That's pretty bad.
I mean, it's sad when you have a playoff series basically against the Orioles and you only win one game. You know, I know they had injuries. We're going to talk about this later. And I know Francona can be blamed. I know other people can be blamed. But, you know, I think these injuries really piled up. And it was just untimely hitting. And
sad. It's like Aceves dominating with the pitching.
Aceves was...
Ellsbury dominating with the hitting and no one else to back them up.
And one more thing. The Red Sox had 4 MVP candidates. No matter how many injuries, no matter how many starting pitchers, if you have 4 MVPs, that means most valuable player. So, I mean, they're so valuable to your team. Now, let's go to the line. Ellsbury, Pedroia, Gonzalez, Ortiz. You can throw them. They were all there in the MVP talk. I think it all got washed away because of Evan Longoria, who had a huge, huge game. And the way Evan Longoria hit that ball, it went down the line. And if you look at the Rays wall, it goes like this, and it just juts down a little bit, and his ball just went barely over the wall.
Yeah.
That was the greatest comeback in baseball history.
It's
the greatest 2 hours of baseball history.
But what I really say is the fact that it's like, we didn't deserve it anyways. Because the fact that
Rays deserved it.
You knew that it was coming because the Red Sox at least win the damn game. That's all you have to do is win the damn game.
And don't worry about the Rays.
Just hold on. Don't worry about the Rays. Who cares if they win or lose? They win. Worst comes to worst. You're in a 1-game playoff for the wild card.
It was a kind of...
It's just disgusting.
And we got to wrap this up. But it was kind of symbolism how, you know, Pal Bono, who's had a great season, comes in, and the person hits it right to Crawford. Crawford drops it. In comes...
Crawford with a shitty
throw
to home plate, too.
So we got to move on here.
All right, now, what is the Red Sox future?
What is I think... September 28th, 2011 might be the dead of a nation. I think that was horrible. I think Francona's... I don't know why they wouldn't fire him, but I think breaking news today, he is gone. I'm not only... I would never say this before, but Epstein, looking at it, I mean, really, he's had one great offseason. That was the 03 season. The 03 offseason, that was excellent. With Ortiz, Miller. Since then, he's done nothing. A lot of people say, yeah, he's made bad signings. Lackey, Lugo, Crawford, Daisuke, but he gets those trades. I could have made those trades. I could have traded for Adrian Gonzalez. You know, I think Epstein goes, and I also am stripping Captain Jason Varitek. You're a captain for a reason, and that clubhouse was blown out of proportion. I'm taking him out of there. I want him retired, and I want Frank Wakefield out of here, because he's the single reason why Francona kept on throwing him out there for the 200th win. I want Pedroia to get that captain. I want Francona out. I want Epstein out.
Let's let you get your 200 win, and let's screw our season.
Yeah, I hate how Francona does that with the pitching. He either takes him out way too early and overmanages, or undermanages and takes him out way too late. That's a problem.
I appreciate greatly the 2 World Series that Terry Francona brought to
But it wasn't him.
That's exactly what I'm going to say. I was going to say, we had great teams. We had great teams with great chemistry, okay? Yeah. You can have any dumbass manager come out there and, you know, call these stupid players.
Brady Little could have won in 2004.
No, Grady Little's a friggin' turd.
All right, but
he couldn't manage his own friggin'.
All right, but in saying that, like Terry Francona babies people the most. Like the most person I've seen him baby ever is probably Papelbon. He
Jacoby Ellsbury last year.
He can't play. He can't pitch 3 games in a row because he only pitches 1 inning.
How about JD Drew? How about JD Drew?
I mean, look at that. Look at last night. Papelbon hasn't pitched since like since the other night. Okay, he blows the game.
JD Drew could have diarrhea and he'd be on the 68-day DL. It was like that.
I don't know. Why is anybody paying JD Drew? I mean, what?
He got overpaid too. That's a disgusting thing to come here.
One more thing.
Everyone who the Red Sox overpaid just do bad. Matuzaka, Crawford, and Drew. All overpaid. All not even really done much so far. What?
Adrian Gonzalez. He's the one exception, but...
He's the one exception, yeah obviously. He's had a hell of a season.
All right, now, finally, who's to blame? Who's to blame?
I'm blaming 3 people. You know, the injuries are there, but I'm really blaming 3 people. I think it's Francona. I think it's Epstein. Epstein because he had a great offseason. It's not his fault Crawford didn't produce. But at that trade deadline, he really needed to make a move. And Eric Bedard was horrible. I thought that was a terrible move. Terry Francona, the way, like John said, he babies his staff. He was a terrible manager. Look how Joe Madden gets out after his players. Girardi gets after his players. Francona goes, yeah, you know, we had a bad day. Pushes up his glasses and, yeah, Lackey, you know. Who cares? He has a divorce with his wife. You know, I don't care about his issues. He's getting paid millions of dollars. And also Varitek. I think for a captain, it should be Pedroia. If you have a captaincy, I want you to... for anybody to say that clubhouse was in wreck, that goes to Veritek, I think, in my opinion.
I mean, the thing with Francona, though, is like, in 04, I mean, I know it's in the past and whatever, past is the past, whatever,
Yeah.
but in 04, I give him credit. At the peak of, like, just coming in and everything, he's got these, like, random group of guys who just come together. I know it's the chemistry and everything, but he had to make moves to, like, just help them win and everything, especially then. In 07, okay, they had a lot more talent then in 07, I'd say, with Pedroia and you coming in and everything. I mean, it's just, he had to, like, really step up in 04 to get those guys to come together and really win.
Yeah.
Even though they obviously are playing themselves. So, I mean...
All right, now, very quickly, briefly, moving on to you, we talked about Terry Francona. He's no longer the manager of the Red Sox. Is it the right decision?
I think it's the right. I think it's absolutely the right decision. You know, grow some stones. That guy had no balls. I'll just say it right now. That guy didn't do anything for his team. Yeah, I know he ended the curse or whatever, but that's really the only reason why he's still here. If he didn't win that 2004 World Series, I think he would have been fired right there.
There's no curse. It's
but
just
I think after though, it's like you won the 04. I think if he just won the 04, then this would be so much of an easier decision though. But he did win in 07 too. So, I mean, it's like, it should be hard. I don't know why it's that easy.
Yeah, and realistically, I'll just go to the next question, too. I'm firing Theo, too. They asked Theo, they interviewed Theo today or something, and he said, yeah, me and the owners are going to discuss Francona's future. So he's just grouping himself in with the owners now? I think he's in the hot seat just as much as Francona. I think both of them should be
He's just trying to look like he's upper management, just like taking that side. It's ridiculous.
All right, so we're probably going to have 3 parts for this one. They're not going to be, long because of some camera issues, but we're going to wrap up MLB in the next segment. All right, so we'll see you then.